What's going on, everybody? My name is Mike from Box and Jackalope, and I'm very happy to have my good friend Kai on for a Pandaren discussion video related to the Pandaren in patch 8.2.5. I just want to start off by saying that this has made me very happy, and to be honest, I think Blizzard kind of addressed a lot of complaints I had about the Pandaren and Battle for Azeroth in this campaign, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but welcome, Kai.
Yeah, thank you. Good to be on, as always.
Here's where I want to start. I thought overall this is how the way that Pandaren were handled in this patch, like the faction ones, was handled perfectly. One, it was awesome seeing those honor-bound Pandaren in Sarfang's funeral in the background, but not just him, not just them. We saw G Firepaw too, like front and center in the cutscene.
Yeah, we sure did, man. It was pretty good to see him. Did you go to? I'm pretty sure you saw the Tishu and Huojin standing together in Thunderbluff too, yeah?
Yes. I
I thought that
freaking
was
love that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's just what I want out of them, like not getting the main spotlight again, but being there, just having a presence, like just kind of being involved with the Alliance and the Horde, and or even as a neutral, force,
Yeah.
just knowing they're there,
Just being a part of the faction is something that to me has felt kind of lackluster. Like, honestly, in some points, even when they first introduced the Pandaren to the factions, they never really like felt like, I mean, I don't mean they didn't have a place, but they didn't feel included at times, you know. And I feel recently Blizzard has really responded to those players' complaints, like with adding G to the cutscene in the last patch, with having him here, with having him when you go to contact Bane in Thunderbluff, and when you talk to him, he mentions that Sarfang would have made a great Hawausian, and you know what, G Firepaw, Sarfang is a Hawausian. Rip.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's the ultimate Hawausian. But I loved it. Like that's the kind of dialogue I wanted from G Firepaw from the start. Like, and I know you and me, we love the ideology behind the faction. Like, and it's cool to see them mention it in this patch. I don't believe Asa had any dialogue when she was in Thunderbluff. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Unfortunately, yeah, I checked on both factions and even with the loyalists, and yeah, it doesn't seem Asa has any dialogue, but G Firepaw does have a little bit of dialogue, which is pretty cool. Asa is standing out front helping defend the tent where Bane is kind of sitting, so I mean, I guess she's doing something, but it's kind of interesting that Bane's the one inside, or not Bane, G is the one inside helping Bane, but Ace is the one standing outside ready to fight. Like,
Right?
I found that to be a pretty cool, I guess you would say turn of things, and G's also not actually here for the, I guess you would say Siege 2.0 that they were expecting, because he just doesn't want to see he doesn't want to see it happen again.
He doesn't want to see Orgrimmar get sieged again.
Yeah, he's almost made a complete turnaround as a character, which I think is kind of cool in a way. Like a lot of people say, he's not really keeping to the initial character, but I mean that's not exactly real to not have a character kind of change. I mean, he's seen some stuff. He's probably lost a lot of people he knew, and
he was almost executed.
He's not even invested. Yeah, he's not even invested. Yeah, in the faction warfare, it's like there's ideological differences, but they left the Isle because they wanted to help the world, and they're
not
kind
fight.
of destroying it.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think that's good. That character development makes like good sense for him. And I know you and me, we were complaining that they never mentioned. And I think a lot of Pandaren players were pretty upset that they never mentioned what happened to him in the Siege of Orgrimmar and Battle for Azeroth. They were like, it's kind of strange that he's not stepping up and doing anything, considering the Hawausian philosophy. But I think the way that they handled him in BFA, when like I look back at it, kind of makes sense, you know? With him meditating at the start and stuff after a while. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it does.
No, I don't think it's crazy at all. It kind of shows that they're both evolving as characters in a way, like in a way, sort of fulfilling that prophecy that Master Shang-Chi set for them. It's like there's a balance between Huojin and Tushui that should be upheld. And
right?
Some people might lean one way or the other, but you shouldn't. If you fully embrace one or the other, you'll I guess you'll have your issues. I mean, if you fully embrace Tishui and Tishui only, some would argue that you'll become completely stagnant. If you completely embrace Huojin, then you become, I guess, too sporadic, a bit too, reckless.
Sporadic. You could almost say arrogant at times too.
Yeah, acting before thinking and not acting at all, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is like there's a proper balance there.
Right? Like, oh gosh, man, there's so much to talk about, but like, the last thing I'd like to talk about is like a potential future storyline now that the factions are basically united. But I think overall, I'm pretty happy with how the Pandaren were used here. Like, this is what I've wanted from them, the whole expansion, and I made a video, three videos during BFA saying Pandaren don't have enough representation, but I think what we got here is exactly what I want from the playable Pandaren. Just something on the side and a little bit of dialogue here and there like that. Nothing in the forefront, but what I would like going forward is, like you said, the Hwaujin and the Tishui. I'd love a quest line where they work together because they're like yin and yang. I really think that would be a good direction for them at this point, and
I hope they do that, but like I said, I really, really hope they emphasize some of their ideological differences. They focus on how the Huojin are kind of consequentialists and the Tishui are a bit like deontological, I guess you would say, in their methods. I mean, they're not exactly one and the other, but like the philosophies are very clearly based on those two like real life philosophies. So I think it'd be kind of cool to see, how they would resolve a situation differently, and maybe even have a minor conflict over it, even if it's not like a physical conflict, but just
verbal. Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome. Just verbal,
like it'd be cool. Yeah, like I thought in the cutscenes, the verbal conflict, very brief as it was, between Anduin and
Sarfang.
So, yeah, Sarfang. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I thought that was really cool. Like it felt very real, I guess, in a way.
Right? The dialogue in those scenes, I was going to actually mention that, but they felt really, like, real and clean. And I really, not just the Pandaren, but I really liked how a lot of the characters reacted. But we'll get to that in the Kunlai Campfire podcast.
Yeah.
But do you have anything else you'd like to say, Kai? Because I think I got my piece out.
Nah, man, I'm just glad to be back in the Horde. Like, and it's glory days to come again. Even if the peace doesn't last, it's good to have, in my opinion, a proper war chief.
I second that, man. It feels like all is right in the world of Warcraft or the Horde right now. But
yeah, it's like I know a lot of people are a bit salty that Sylvanas is ousted, but I'm not gonna apologize. I don't support her as war chief. I think she's a cool character, like her as a character, but not as a war chief. Sorry.
Man, that's exactly how I feel about her, and I'll get into this in the other video, but like, I'm actually more invested in her again now that she's not war chief. But
yeah, I feel the same way. I really liked, because I like I said, I've done the loyalist playthrough as well. I've had characters on both, and I thought it was really cool how they kind of summed her up. They didn't make her to be too cliche villain. Like they made her have flaws, but she's not just like, grr, I hate the world and stuff. Like she's actually got a little bit of an arc to her.
Yeah.
But and she's not all about just using the Horde. Arguably, you could say she's not just using the Horde. She just has a different goal in mind, I guess, in the end.
Ideologies, just like the Hwaujin and the Tishui when you think about it. That's a good way to tie this up.
Yeah.
Kai, thank you so much for being on again today, man. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can have you on some more Pandaren-related videos, or me on your channel in the future. That would be really, really awesome. I would love
heck
that.
Yeah, man. I'll definitely get around to it soon, trademark.
But anyway, guys, keep up the good Pandaren fight. We'll see you guys next time.